Hello and welcome back to Metaverse. For today's video, we are going to be talking about Bancor, explained everything you need to know about BNT. Let's get started. Actually, the Bancor ICO 2022 raised $153 million worth of Ethereum in less than 3 hours. One of the earliest ERC20 tokens was BNT, a token connected to Bancor. And Bancor was the first automated market maker, a type of decentralized exchange. Single-sided stacking. The first concept worth elaborating on is Bancor's support for single-sided stocking. This doesn't imply that you have to provide one asset, such as Chainlink, and then the protocol takes half of it and sells it for ETH, before giving both the Chainlink and the ETH to a liquidity pool, as some of the other tools out there do. Banks may not do this because they understand that it does something that not every liquidity provider wants. It forces you to have half of all your assets in the pool of ETH. Bancor's real single-sided stocking addresses this problem because the Chainlink community is passionate about solely holding Link tokens and does not want to give up their exposure to be able to supply liquidity. How does it function? Bancor still has liquidity pools, albeit they operate as follows. To fill the other half of the pool, Bancor actually mints a new token called BNT when you add some Link tokens to it. For example, suppose you give them $100 worth of links and assume that each BNT is currently worth $2. Actually, Bancor will produce 50 new BNT tokens, making the pool comprise 50% Link and 50% BNT. By doing so, you have only exposed yourself to the Link tokens. You have provided a single link. You might be right about the first half, but whenever someone withdraws their Link tokens from a pool, the BNT tokens that the protocol originally minted are removed from the pool and burned. Doesn't that create a crazy inflationary market? BNT tokens are being printed almost as quickly as US dollars. Things have been demolished and are no longer there. Let's say you wanted to trade Link to ETH through Bankwood pools. You would technically be making a trade from Link to BNT, and then from BNT to ETH, making BNT one of the most liquid and most traded tokens in the history of crypto. Additionally, trading fees earned by the protocol that created BNT are also burned for BNT upon the withdrawal of the associated user's stake. Basically, in a bank where all trades are processed through the BNT token, a fee is generated for users and for the protocol every time a trade is made. Since the Bancor protocol created half of the liquidity for each pool, it is entitled to half of the trading fees generated by those trades. Since BNT has been actively traded, this has resulted in a sizable amount of money growing in the protocol's treasury. You might be astounded. Impermanent loss insurance. Bancor provides a novel service known as impairment loss insurance. Consequently, traders also pay a fee to execute trades on Bancor. Additionally, Bancor keeps a portion of all yields received from users, that other liquidity, and it invests that money in expanding the insurance fund. Now you pay a monthly premium for protection in case something very catastrophic occurs, much like vehicle insurance. With Bancor, you effectively contribute 15% of the trading fees you receive as a liquidity provider into a pool that guards against temporary loss for both you and your fellow liquidity providers. Bancor also burns any excess fees for BNT. To control the overall supply, it's important to note that the BNT supply has been deflationary since the middle of 2022. Bancor also uses fees generated on its own BNT, given to its protocols to help fund its insurance payouts. Let's go through an example so you can better grasp how this insurance functions. Consider that you are offering 100 Link tokens as a form of liquidity. You acquire some Link from the trading fees during the course of the following year, so you should now have more than 100 connected tokens, right? If the Link price has significantly outperformed the market, as you hope, and your principal deposit of Link is sold off at a discount for the paired asset, your cumulative stake may actually be worth less than if you had simply kept the paired assets in your wallet and maintained full exposure to your Link tokens. You anticipated withdrawing more Link from the pool because you were hopefully earning Links from the fees, but instead you are left with 95 Links because the temporary loss that disseminated your earned fees also ate into your principal linked deposit. This may sound really complicated, but in plain English, it means that you lost 5 Links because of the impermanent loss. This frequently occurs on a variety of various dexes. Bank orders makes an interesting agreement with liquidity providers, claiming that if you do so, you'll never have to worry about taking less money out than you put in. Instead, we'll keep track of the tokens you initially deposited and make sure you always receive at least the same amount when you withdraw, in addition to the trading fees and benefits earned on your trades. However, in exchange for this service, liquidity providers are only required to give Bancor 15% of their profits. For example, if you gave Bancor 100 Link tokens and received 10 Link tokens in return, you would pay 1.5 Link tokens to the Bancor Community Insurance Fund and would then be entitled to at least 108.5 Link tokens back. The protocol uses BNT to buy liquidity in its pools, which not only matches user deposited stake and supports single-sided liquidity, but also generates protocols, BNT and non-BNT tokens that help fund the protocol's insurance payout. The other part of Bancor insurance is funded through fees that the protocol earns on the BNT that it provided to its own pools. Without creating any additional BNT tokens, Bancor can pay insurance payouts if the total fees made on the protocol-provided BNT are more than the payout for permanent losses and the protocols. In the end, customers now have peace of mind, knowing that they will always receive at least 100% of tokens they originally placed when they stake, while furthermore passively accumulating more of the stake tokens through trade cost. Sticking with the Link example, if an LP placed 100 Link tokens, they will always be owned and be able to withdraw at least 100 Link tokens plus any fees that have accrued on their investment, regardless of the Link's price change. Now, occasionally, Bancor might not be able to return all of your tokens in a Link. If the pool has had a big temporary loss and hasn't ranked up enough associated trading fees, instead, Bancor will offer you as many Link tokens as they can before paying the remaining insurance with BNT tokens of equal value. Now, much like with auto insurance, if you go out and total your car, the insurance company will pay you enough money to buy a new car instead of necessarily getting the old one fixed. With its insurance concept, Bancor is essentially doing the same thing. They simply print extra BNT tokens to give the insurance claim. You can actually provide Link tokens and passively earn more Link with a 100% exposure to the tokens' upside, while also being protected from any and all permanent losses you'd experience on another platform's pool. This is the great thing about both single-sided stacking and impermanent loss insurance together. One thing we do not want to point out about the insurance function is that at the moment, in order to gain the full insurance cover, you must offer liquidity for at least 100 years. DeFi 2.0 Protocol owned L. Given some of the laws in place, it is actually risky and possibly even illegal for a protocol to sell half of its supply, use the proceeds to purchase Ethereum, and then use that money to effectively provide liquidity to Uniswap. This is the collapse of DeFi 2.0, narrative new protocols, and DAO out there are searching for places to basically provide liquidity safely and profitably so that their users can trade with the tokens efficiently. A DAO or other projects can easily supply Bancor with their own protocol minted tokens with a single-sided stocking, providing the same amount of capital entirely in their own native token without having to worry about selling their token to creative liquidity. There are currently more than 30 DAO treasuries that have agreed to give Bancor liquidity and have already benefited from doing so. Some of which are Polygon Yearn, Keeper DAO, Barn Bridge, and Engine. As more DAO use Bancor to provide liquidity to their tokens and earn passive protected yield on their treasury asset, we'll be able to gauge the impact of this concept. So that pretty much sums up how Bancor functions. Let's explore the particular tokenomics. First off, BNT, a governance token by itself. You have to stake BNT in Bancor in order to have the ability to vote in the bank or DAO. However, anytime you stake your BNT tokens, you actually obtain VBNT, Bancor Governance Token. All voters in the bank or DAO are both BNT holders and liquidity providers, in contrast to desks like Uniswap, where token holders who do vote on the changes don't have to be liquidity providers. This is because Bancor technically has a proof-of-stake governance model, which means that all voters not only have exposure to BNT, but they also have skin in the game as liquidity providers on the protocol. This essentially means that all BNT holders will cast their votes in a manner that is likely to be advantageous to all other liquidity providers, whereas holders of Uniswap tokens will cast their votes in a manner that is advantageous only to the Uni token and not necessarily to other liquidity providers. Additionally, the tokenomics of BNT are a little challenging. Users may initially be concerned by the protocol's single-sided liquidity system, which is constantly minting more BNT to match the stocks coming in the system. But that's fine because the protocol's minted BNT is used to earn even more BNT to the protocol, and ultimately, both of these are burned. Although one of the developers explained that BNT is sort of like an index of its deepest pools since all the token must pair with BNT. At first glance, some users might get concerned. It's also important to note that Bancor has a fantastic revenue plan for obtaining tokens that helps to sustain and fund its insurance model. Overall, it is challenging to explain the unique tokenomics of BNT. The project Bancor is really intriguing and contains many original concepts. From our discussion, what have you learned? Please let me know by leaving a comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, turn on the notification bell, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thank you for stopping by to watch. See you in our next video.